In this video, I want to show you how to make a customized set of Betaminic strategies. By making a customized set of strategies, you can make it more efficient by reducing pick costs and avoid overlaps of bets. To do this, you'll need to select your top Betaminic strategies. You can do that from the Betamin Builder or from a data snapshot like I've shown in my previous videos. Then you note which leagues and odds bands each of those strategies uses, and then choose your core and secondary strategies from that list, and then edit the secondary strategies, leagues and odds bands to fit together with your core strategies. Create and follow your new customized set in the Betamin Builder. In my previous video, I showed how to make a Betaminic data snapshot. So I have a lot of good strategies now in my data snapshot, and what I'm going to do is rank them by average profit per month. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm trying to choose my core strategies now that I'm not going to edit and leave exactly as they are. And so I want those core strategies to be ones that make as much profit as possible per month, because I'm going to be putting in them in full. So I order this column by average profit and loss. And then I want to highlight the different bet types, so it's easier for me to recognize which bets are home wins, draws, underdogs, over and unders bets. So here I'm going to add some background colors to the different bet types. I'm just going to quickly order it into the bet type so it's easier to add different shadings. And I'm just going to add a little memo to myself of what kind of group I think they are. And next I'm going to choose what kind of strategies I'm going to try and put together in my customized set. I'm going to take out the away bets and the double chance away bets because I think it's more difficult to make them match together with home bets. It is possible, but it's just easier for me to focus on just home bets and draws and over-under bets. When I add in the away bets, I think it's harder to make them into a customized set. So personally, I also prefer to bet on home games and draws and overs and unders. I'm not a big fan of away bets. So I've taken out the away bets and I'm left with draws and home wins and double chances and draw no bets. And again, I'm going to order it in order of the monthly average profit in the live period, in the since shared being period. And I'm going to highlight the top strategies. For me, one of these is going to be, from here I'm going to choose my core strategies, I think. So now I need to think about what my first core strategy is going to be. At the top I have this strategy, this home win strategy by Andrews, called home win contra tendencia. I'm guessing that means home win against the trend. And that has a good profit in its live period. It's got a good monthly profit, and it's got a lot of bets in its total bets column for the live period. So I'm thinking about using this one. I'm just going to bold it so I know I'm considering this one as a core strategy, and I'm going to use that as a core strategy. And so I should check this in the Betamin Builder and have a look at its graphs, have a look at its monthly results. So I look in the public strategies area there, and I search by name for that strategy. Home win contra tendencia, there it is. And then I click on that. I'm going to have a look at that. And yep, I can see here it's got average odds 3.28. I take a look at its settings here. Unfortunately, I can't show you these settings in this video. They're going to be blurred out on the YouTube video. But if you sign up and go into the Betamin Builder, it's free to sign up, and you can look at the settings yourself. So I've changed it to look at the since created, since shared stats. And I can see it had a good period at the start, and then it's tapered off a little bit, but generally a positive increase. It's just had a bad month, but I won't exclude it for one bad month. Overall, it's got some very strong data there. Then the next thing I do, I like to make a note of the odds bands it will bet on, and also the main filters it's using in that strategy, its settings. This is so that when I'm considering the secondary strategies to go with this core strategy, I need to know where it's overlapping, and I can use that information then to edit odds bands or edit leagues and consider whether it can work together with the core strategies. So I need to copy and paste those settings and those odd bands, and this takes a bit of time, so I'm going to speed this up. But and also I can't show you this on the YouTube video, so it's going to be blurred out again. If you sign up for free, you can see those settings in the website, but you need to get those settings so that you can see which secondary strategies can work together with the core strategies. I'm just going to speed this bit up here. You don't need to see me doing all this bit. So the next bit we need to do is to find out which leagues are being used. You don't have to type out all the league names. You can actually copy and paste this. So if you go into the Betamin Builder and you click to display 200 leagues. I think it's got 54 leagues, but click to display as many as possible. Then click on the up-down arrows at the top of the column to get them in alphabetical order, and then simply left-click, drag, and right-click copy all of those, and in a spreadsheet copy them just as values. And then we can get rid of the data we don't need and sort out so they're all lined up. And what I want to do, actually, I want to transpose these. I don't want them vertically, I want them horizontal. So what you can do there is copy a set, copy one of the columns, and when you paste it, click on transpose, and then it'll put it horizontally, because then I can line it up with the rest of my data. If I do that again, copy and transpose it, and there I have all the league names. So I can just copy that and put that together with the rest of my data. I'm going to need an extra space for this, I think. Yep. So I just need to make space to have two lines for the league names, the country names and the league names. And then I put them in there, and great. So I've got all the leagues there now. And to make it a bit easier for me to understand, I'm going to put grid lines around them. And then the next thing I need to do is make a note of which leagues are being used by this core strategy. And in those boxes, if possible, I like to put the odds band that it's betting on. So this is betting on home wins within a certain odds range. And so in each box for each league, I'm going to put which odds band it's betting on. And again, I'm going to give it a green background so I know it's betting on home wins. And as I get the data from the other strategies, it becomes easier to see which ones are home bets, which ones are draws, and which ones are overs and unders. So I go along this strategy and I make a note of all the leagues it's using, and I note the odds band it's using there. After that, I go on to the next strategy I've chosen as a core strategy, and I've got a draw strategy. And so I'm going to go and make a note of its settings, and I'm going to note which leagues it's using. And after I've got that information, I'm going to check my next strategy. And the next strategy I have is also a draw strategy. So now I'm going to have to, after I've got the details of what filters it has and what leagues it's using, I'm going to have to make a choice to stop using some of those leagues in that second draw strategy. And when I look there, when I see something is similar, I'm going to change its league cell to red letters. So I then change it to red text. And this, to me, I know, so I'm going to cut this one out. I'm going to edit this strategy and cut those leagues out so that it doesn't overlap with that previous core draw strategy that I was using. Next, I look at this underdog strategy. And here, if it's betting on the underdog, that means it could be betting on home or away games. So I have to check that. I want to check that in Betaminic, and I want to see, well, how many of these bets are going to be away games, how many are going to be home games. And if I do want to use this strategy, then I'm going to have to recreate it, but this time split it, so I'm just betting on home matches and none of the away underdog matches. But I'm going to have a look at the filters in the Betaminic website and just see how many of those matches are actually away bets, because looking at the filters, I think they might just be home bets, because one of the filters is the away team has quite low odds, and if the away team has low odds, then that means the home team is going to be the underdog. So I'm just going to take a look at that strategy, have a look at its bets. Just have a quick look at the monthly profits since created, and it's got a few big months and then a few months of a lot of months where it's not performing so well. But I'm going to take a look at what kind of bets. These are all basically home bets, I think. There are no away bets, so it's betting on the home team when they're an underdog. There are no away bets here, so I can use this strategy together with my set of home bets if I want to, because they're pretty much all home. Well, all of them. They're all home bets. The home team is the underdog. But one thing I want to check now is also with the filters, it's how similar is this strategy to the other home bet strategies I already have in my set. So this is betting on home underdogs, and my first strategy was also betting on home underdogs in a way, I think, because it was going for home teams that had a bad run, home teams against their trend. So I take a look at the settings here. I'm sorry, they're blurred out on the YouTube videos, but you can see them if you sign up for the Betamin Builder. So I'm going to just quickly take a look and compare that first core home bet strategy to this underdog strategy. And when I take a look at those filters, I notice there's a similarity. Just when I copy and paste in, I can't actually tell you because you have to sign up for this. I can't just put this in a YouTube video. But the filters it's using for the home team is basically my core strategy, and the strategy I'm looking, underdog strategy, is looking at home teams that have been in very bad form. And so basically I think these strategies are going to bet on the same general team. They're betting on the same kind of matches, they've just found it with different filters. So I think I'm actually going to drop this strategy from my set because it's basically betting on the same matches, so I don't need to keep this in my set. So yeah, so this is a good example of why when you have made your data snapshot, when you are looking at the strategies you want to put into your group of strategies, you do need to check where they're similar. And if you have two strategies that are basically betting on the same matches, just they're betting on them with different filters, then you don't need to have both of those strategies. That's going to be inefficient because they're just going to end up betting on the same games. So this strategy I'm going to cut and remove out of the sets that I'm going to put in this system. And I'm just going to speed this up because we don't need to see me doing all of this stuff. So I'm going to remove that strategy. Okay, let's see what the next one is. So the next strategy I have here is a home win strategy again. This one is called Home King. It does have a little bit of a large maximum drawdown. I'm going to take a look at it again in the Betamin Builder just to get an idea of its monthly results and what its graph looks like, its progress graph over time. Just a quick look there, it seems to be increasing over time. That's a good initial sign. Let's take a look at the graph since shared. There's the monthly results. Let's have a look since shared. And okay, it's only been around for about 7 months, but it's not had many losing months. It's making profit each month. It's got a good yield. I do like the look of it. It's got a low maximum drawdown in its live period. So the next thing I need to do is to make a note of the odds bands. The core strategy I have bets on home odds from 2 to 8. but this other strategy is betting on home odds 2.4 to 5. So they overlap completely, so I'm going to have to make a note of which leagues it's using, and then any leagues that this strategy is betting on, I'm going to have to, that my core strategy is also betting on, I will have to cut out. So I go along the list, and this is why it's easy when you make a note of each odds band and each league that's being used with a coloured background, and you can see straight away which ones you need to cut out. And we can see now that, yeah, I have betting strategies for each league now. Just that there's the German third league and the Japan J League that I'm not betting on so far, but already I'm starting to create a set of strategies that fit together. So then the next strategy I'm going to look at is Contend UD, which is a home win strategy. It doesn't have much space, so I'm going to need a strategy that fits in with the other strategy odds bands I already have. So with Contend UD, I'm going to have a look at that in the Betamin Builder, see what kind of strategy it is. Again, in the public strategies area, I search by name, Contend UD. I'm just going to copy and paste it in there. And oh, well, the long-term graph looks good. Let's take a closer look and see the since shared data. The since shared graph, it went up. It's kind of not done so well recently, but it's got a reasonable profit level, nice yield, like 9%. So I would like to use this one in some way. But the odds band is from 1 to 10, home odds of 1 to 10, and that really overlaps with the other strategies I already have. But my core strategy starts at odds of 2, so if this is betting on odds under 1, under 2, then I could use it for that odds band. So I'm going to make a note of the odds band and the filters it has. And so I'm going to speed this up a bit. So I'm going to make a note of the filters, and again I'm going to make a note of the leagues it's using. There we go, I just put all that league data in there. And I notice here home win contra tendencia starts from odds of 2 and home king starts from odds of 240. So actually if I split the Contend UD and I make two versions of it, one that goes from 1 to 2 and another one that goes from odds from 1 to 2.4, then I can use one of those depending on which league I'm fitting it together with. So for leagues that it's fitting together with contra tendencia, my core strategy, then I can use the part 1 of Contend UD that starts at 1 and finishes at odds of 2. And then for leagues where I'm using the home king home bets, I can use the Contend UD part 2 that I can do. I can filter to odds of 1.0 to 2.40. So in this case, I've actually taken the Contend UD strategy and I've split it into two and given it two different odds ranges, so it fits together better with my core and secondary home bets that I've already picked. Now I think my home bets are pretty full up now. I've got one or two strategies in almost all the leagues there. So I will just take another look at the next strategy I do have on my list. I've got Deneme Underdog, so I'm going to have a look at well, Deneme or Denim, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'm going to have a look at that one on the public strategies and just look at the settings on that and see if there's a possible way that I can also use that in with this customized set of strategies. Denim has been around a while. I've seen that at the top of the ratings quite a few times. So I would like to use it, but I'm looking at the odds band there. Sorry, again, it's blurred out for you, but the odds band is right in the middle of odds bands I'm already using. so it's going to be very hard to make that work to fit in with the set of strategies I have already. So I think I'm not going to be able to use that. It's also an underdog that bets on homes and aways, so I think I'm going to leave it there for my home bets. So I'm just going to give make a space there, and I'm just going to give a green background to the strategy names that I've decided to use and include in my set. These all seem to have good stats. They've got good monthly amounts, they've got good profits, their yields look okay, their maximum drawdowns don't look too bad, so I think I've got a good set of home bets there. So I'm just going to highlight my home bets, and after I've highlighted these, given a green background to these strategies that I'm going to use, my homes and draws, next I'm going to turn my attention to overs and under bets, and the core strategy of my overs bets is going to be the Colossus 6, scoring away overs. That's been one of the top ranking strategies on Betaminic for over a year now, possibly even 2 years. It's a really good one, so I'm going to use that as a core strategy. Because it's betting on over 2.5 goals, it's not going to interfere with my home bets or draw bets at all, so I can use that happily. And so I'm going to just cut and paste all the over and under strategies I might include and might try and make work together here. So I've got, there's another under 2.5 goals strategy. I think I've got another over 2.5 goal strategy there that I might use if I can. So I've got four over and under 2.5 goal strategies I'm considering using there. So, well, the Colossus 6 always scoring overs, that's going to be my core over 2.5 goal strategy, so no changes with that. But I will need to make a note of its settings and the leagues it's using, so that when I edit the other strategies, I can make them fit. So I'm going to make a note of the odds bands it's using and the filters it uses. So I'll just enter them there into my spreadsheet. And after I've done that, I need to get all the leagues that it's using. So I'm going to give it a red background so I know it's it's an over 2.5 goals bet. So I've got the leagues that it's betting on there. After I've done that, I'm going to take a look at the under 2.5 goals strategy that I want to fit together with this over goals. It makes sense really if I've got some leagues where betting on over 2.5 goals is going to make profit. In the leagues where it's not going to make profit, maybe those can make profit with under 2.5 goals, and it turns out it does. So I'm going, well, according to these strategies, if the trend continues, it suggests that it will make profit. Of course, these are all historical. This is all historical data. Well, the live period is since it was researched and released, since it was shared, the trend has continued. So when I say they're still in profit, that means that the trend has continued since they were researched. So interestingly, the under 2.5 goals has no league filtering, so it's applied to every league. So in this case, that means that just the leagues where I am betting on overs goals, I will cancel out from this one. So now all of my leagues are either betting on overs or unders, so that's pretty full. Since it's pretty full, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit anything else in there, and actually that next unders strategy has pretty similar filters to the other unders one I'm using, so I can cut that out. I'm going to move that below. And this X4 Plus, I've also seen this one before, and I know its filters are quite similar to the Colossus 6 as well. I can take a quick look again just to double check. When I have a look in the public strategies, look for that one there, take a closer look at the filters on it, and I see, yes, it's pretty much betting on almost exactly the same bets as the Colossus 6 away scoring overs, so I don't really need that one actually. slightly different, but it's a, you know, I'm not going to try and fit that one in, so I'm just going to remove that one. So there I've got home bets, some draws, and overs and unders. So you can see how I've made core strategies that are unchanged, and I've got secondary strategies where I've edited either the odds or cut the leagues so that it fits together. So I don't have overlapping bets from similar strategies. They're betting on different leagues, they're betting on different odds bands, so this makes it much more efficient with my pick costs. And now I've chosen what strategies I'm going to use. The next thing, I'm going to have to make them. I'm going to have to make them in my private strategies area. Since I've made it making a set here, it's good to give them a name so that when you're following them, it's easy to see straight away, that's the set of customized strategies. So I'm going to call them HD, homes and draws, HD1, HD2, HD3. And then in the Betamin Builder, I'm going to create those strategies. When you're creating your own strategies, your own copies of these, it gives you a chance to give those strategies your own original name. Some of the strategies are a little bit hard to understand just from their names, so you can look at the filters and make your own names, like I'm going to call HD1 winless homes. I'm going to call HD2 home underdog, and I'm going to give each of those a name. I'm just speeding this up, you don't need to see me typing all this. So I've given them each names, and once I've got their names already, then I can put them into the Betamin Builder as I add a new strategy. Put the name in, and in the description I like to add in the name of the original strategy it's based on, because of course as soon as I make this strategy it's not going to be on the public page, so I'm not going to be able to see its long-term performance since it really was originally shared. So this is a note to myself of what it's based on and what's been edited in it, if it's the odds or the strategies. So it's good to write in a few notes there when you're recreating these strategies, your edited, your customized strategies in your My Strategies private area. And then when you're recreating them, you can refer to your spreadsheet for the filters, or you can look at the original strategy itself in the Betamin Builder, open it up in two tabs, and you can copy it that way. But you will have to manually recreate the strategies. So that's one part that's going to take a little bit of time. So I'm going to speed it up here. It did take me a bit of a while to recreate all these strategies, and make my own versions of them. But another very good reason to do this is actually when you are recreating your own strategies, instead of just following the current top strategies in Betaminic, you really get to understand what you're following, what the core settings are of the strategies that you're following. And when you realize, I'm betting on home underdogs, or I'm betting on home favorites, or I'm betting on this kind of overs match, I'm betting on these kinds of unders match. And when you do have to go through all the steps yourself, it's a really good way to learn what strategies you're using. And then as I was creating these strategies, I noticed that my second draw strategy, draw trend 2, it ends up actually I've cut out almost all its leagues. There's only one league remaining, and instead of creating that with just one league in it, I've just decided to cut it out of that set. So now there's only one draw strategy in that set, and the others are home wins and an over and an under strategy. So it's a compact set, but an efficient set. I mean, these have good yields, and you can see there it is. That's the strategy set I've created. Again, I'm going to speed it up for you, so you don't have to see me do all of that, putting all the names in and recreating those. It does take time, but as I said, it's good because as you're making it, you sometimes get ideas yourself. Oh, this has done it this way. Well, what if I use this other setting, or if I do another setting? And you start to also see the same core settings coming up again and again, and a lot of the core settings are related to home teams that haven't won or haven't scored or have conceded a certain amount in the last few games. And obviously what's happening there is that the bookmakers' models, when they see those bad statistics, like it hasn't won in the last 6 games or they haven't scored in the last 3 games, then the bookmaker model increases the odds on that. And that's why these home, we could call them underdogs, these home matches with odds of 3, 3.5, 4.2, these are the ones with value in, it seems, because their odds have been artificially increased by the bookmaker model, in this case the Pinnacle model. So when you start to see those core strategies, those core settings, core filters repeating themselves, it gives you new ideas. Okay, I see how it's how these value odds are coming up. So you can try and create your own strategies. And I really, anybody, if you've watched this far in this video, then you must be, very interested in the Betaminic system. I would really ask you, if you can try creating, if you do have an idea, please create that strategy and share it. The more strategies we have shared over time, the more chances we have of finding strategies that work. Okay. So now I've created all my strategies. The next thing I'm going to do is go into the aggregator and I'm going to select all those strategies. Here you'll see there's 2 versions of each of these strategies, and the reason for that is because I shared all these. I've shared them so that other people can follow them if they want to, or take a look at how I've made them and to get an idea of how to do it themselves. And there you can see that this is 150 picks per month with a yield of about 8%. And looking for about an average of 12 points per month. I mean, it won't give you 12 points every month, it's an average point, but I think if I hadn't edited this set, it might be 250 or 300 picks per month. I'll check that out in a minute. But I've got this set down to 150 picks per month. In fact, I can just total that up here. Let's see how many picks it was originally. And originally, if I just followed these, all of them, it would be 223 picks. So I've managed to change 223 picks per month down to 150 picks per month. And that's a significant saving, and it also means I'm not getting double picks there. I'm not betting on the draw and the home win in the same game. And here you can see here's the HD5 and the OU2 that I just created now in this video. So I've got 5 strategies that fit together and another 2 strategies that fit together, and you can use those sets together because the over-unders and the home and draws don't overlap with each other. And you can also see the BSG 18, which is a set of 18 strategies that I made at the end of April 2021 that fit together and have no overlaps. They have about 250 picks per month. So I got the top strategies at that time at the end of April, and I made them into a customized set that all work together. That's the set I'm following at the moment, the BSG 18, and I'm doing that together with my automated betting bots that bet in play depending on in-play statistics, because I'm trying to get extra value out of these picks. You can follow any of these strategies. You can find them all on the public strategies page. So you can create your own customized sets yourself, or you can follow these ones that I've made and shared on the Betaminic website. I would really appreciate if anyone creating their own strategies or getting ideas from looking at these strategies, if you do make a new strategy, please do share it so it can sit there and we can see what its live results are, and if its trend is continuing, its pattern is continuing over time. Because in the future, the more strategies we have to choose from, the better systems we will have. So if you do have any ideas, any inspiration, please do make it and share it on the Betamin Builder. So in this video, I've showed you how to make an efficient customized set of Betaminic strategies by selecting your top strategies, making notes of their leagues, their odds bands, and then filtering those down and recreating those strategies in your private strategies area so they fit together with no duplicates, no overlaps, and they work logically together, so you're not betting on home bets and away bets in the same game. So that's why I recommend making a customized set of strategies that work together really efficiently. If you're interested in reading more about big data betting, you can get my books on Amazon, or you can get them for free by becoming my Betaminic referral. Check out my website, bettingsystemsguide.com, for details on how to get that for free. Also, my website tells you how you can automate your betting with the BFBot Manager. That works with Betamin picks, and then you can also create strategies that are triggered by those Betaminic picks and bet in play depending on in-play stats. Thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you very much.